Alright, let's get comfortable, shall we? Do you hear that? Silence. My friends left, and now it's just a quiet house again. No more laughter, no more late night glasses of wine and Joanna Gaines and treats on the couch. I had such a great time, and I'm so thankful that these girls came down from the Midwest to come spend some time with me in Story. It's always sad when I leave St. Louis or, whenever we have to say goodbye. It's Monday. Mondays are the worst. So I'm sitting here and I'm gonna eat some of this Jenny's ice cream. It's a gooey butter cake, which is a St. Louis thing, and I couldn't believe that I could find it here at Publix in Charleston, so I had to get it. It just makes me think of home, and it's freaking good. I couldn't really decide if I wanted to do, vlog the whole time, or vlog one of the days out of the week, or if I wanted to do kind of a montage and just kind of bits and pieces of everything that we did. But when they got here and we just started running around, doing all the things, I just decided it would be better for me to just really embrace the time that we had and just submerge myself in their company. And so I did video bits and pieces of different things that we did around town. So I'm going to kind of talk about that and then just insert them so that you guys can see it and just feel like you were a part of it. So that's how we're going to do it. And don't mind me, I'm just going to sit here and eat my ice cream while I tell you the stories of everything we did. What in the devil is in this? Can you see this? That's not caramel. Oh, it's butterscotch. That's what this is. With little bits of cake. I don't know if you can get this brand anywhere in the US or if this is a Charleston thing, but Jenny's ice cream. We should have eaten this on ice cream day instead of going to that place that we went to. I'm not gonna say that. I'm glad that we went. If you didn't see that video, it was good. It was supposed to be rated the best ice cream in South Carolina. I don't think I agree with that, but I'm glad we went. I'm glad we tried it. In my opinion, this little thing from the freezer section at Publix is much better. The girls came in on a Sunday, so when they got here, it was in the evening, so we just came home. Story wanted to show them her sidewalk chalk, so we did a little bit of that in the driveway. Talked to the neighbors a little bit, introduced everybody, said hi. Just kind of, low-key. Let me rewind real quick. Before we got back home, literally from the airport, we had to swing by Lodi because they were really excited to try that coffee. So we swung by there, got our drinks, then came back and did the sidewalk chalk and had dinner and all that. They loved the Lodi. We actually went back again. Monday we woke up. We decided we were going to go get some of the protein teas that I always talk about over at Chucktown Nutrition. They had never had these protein teas before, so they wanted to try them. And it was I forget what the promotion was that day, but it was if you get a tea and a shake, you get one of them half off or something like that. So we actually each ended up getting 2 things. So that's 6 drinks, and there was one guy working the counter. I felt so terrible, but he did great. He was quick. Did that. They loved them, of course. We went to the grocery store after that. I took them to a grocery store that's, I don't want to say it's local because there are several of them, I think, along the southeast coast, but it's called Lowe's Foods. Not to be confused with Lowe's Home Improvement. I don't even know how to describe it. More of a homegrown grocery store. It's not a chain like Harris Teeter or Publix or anything like that. They source a lot of local vegetables and fruits and produce. I don't know, it's kind of I don't even know what to compare it to. Not Trader Joe's. Anyways, I'm rambling. We took them there, got some groceries, snacks, and then came back home. Story had to take a nap. I think that's all we did Monday. I can't remember. But Tuesday, we woke up and we had some plans. We had plans to go downtown. So we woke up early and we went downtown. One of my friends, she's been wanting to go to this coffee shop in downtown Charleston for years, and she finally made it here. She was like, hey, can we go to this place? I've been wanting to go there. It's called Biddy and Bo's Coffee. It's been featured on the Today Show, CNN Heroes, GMA, Good Morning America, the Rachel Ray Show, People Magazine. It's a really, really inclusive coffee shop. It's run by people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They have t-shirts, mugs, stickers, koozies for your cans and your drinks, your beverages. It's just a really, really intimate little coffee shop. It's right at the corner of Cumberland and Church. There's a parking garage right there. It's a block away from the market. So if you park in that parking garage, you can just go right around the corner and the coffee coffee shops right there. We made it a point to go there. We got some drinks. It was great. Everybody was super, super friendly. You could tell it just had a really positive atmosphere when we went there. And then we just went a block over to the market. I had to introduce my friends to Callie's Hot Little Biscuits because everybody needs to have them when they come to Charleston for the first time. And they have a little location inside the market. We got there at a great time. I think we got there right when they opened or just a little after they opened because the line wasn't too terrible. And it was a weekday, so I think that kind of helped too. But we just waited a few minutes, went outside. They have some little tables out there. We kind of sat there and hung out for a minute and had our biscuits. And then we decided to do one of those carriage rides. If you've never been to Charleston, there are, I don't even know how many, 5 to 8 different carriage companies that have the horse-drawn carriages that do tours all around downtown Charleston. If you're downtown Charleston and you're right at the corner of Anson and North Market, that's where they'll sell you the tickets to go on the carriage rides. And so we decided to grab our tickets. There was a little bit of a wait, got our reservation time to come back in 30 minutes, and then we just kind of walked through the market a little bit and just kind of moseyed through looking at some of the little souvenirs and t-shirts and snacks and goodies and things like that. I think after like 20 minutes we kind of started heading back to where we load onto the carriage. We waited for maybe 5 to 10 minutes over there, and then we loaded up. It was about an hour tour. We had a really, really great tour guide. His name was Matthew, I believe. Great personality, super funny. He was making us laugh the whole time. He had a lot of good information, and I think I mentioned in the video that every time I've taken one of these, I get new information about the city every single time. Like, no tour is the same. We also got really lucky with this one because every tour takes a different route. They can't take the same route along the city just because of congestion and time of day, things like that. Whenever you load up on your carriage and then you go around that first turn, there's some city officials there that will give you a route to take. And we were fortunate enough to get the route that goes down Rainbow Row and then like down the Battery. So we got to do all of that in one tour and see it, and then, you know, kind of like lump everything together, and it was perfect. I'm gonna put in some footage right here so you can see how that went. All right, we're downtown Charleston again today, being tourists. Friends are in town, and we're gonna take a little ride. Say hi, Sweetie. Hi. So I have taken these tours probably 4 or 5 times. But I was telling my friends, every single one of them is different. So you get new information depending on your tour guide. So it's kind of nice. And they take you down different streets too, depending on what carriage you get. But this time we're gonna see Rainbow Row and we're gonna go along the Battery, which is a coveted tour. So we're really excited.
In 1863, the Union took control of the Charleston harbor. The Union Navy blocked off the port and started the ships to blockade. The Union Army was on all the harbor islands. From the harbor, they bombed downtown for 587 days straight. It was the longest siege in the history of warfare in the United States.
Oh, he was just telling us this used to be a brothel. All right. It's pretty.
Another thing y'all need to know about the early city, because it changed the culture in this part of the South, is that for the first 60 years of people arriving in the colony, only half of the Caucasian population actually came here from Europe. They're known as Charleston single houses because they're only one room wide at the street. Where the 3 windows are right there, there's just one room right there. But the best ones are like 19 with the door off to the side. It's called a false door. Notice it doesn't go into the house, it leads onto the porch.
Oh, yeah.
The door that leads onto the porch that runs the whole way to the home, and those are called piazzas. They stole that word from the Italians. It is embarrassing. Piazza means square. So to get in, you'd open up that door, but you know, people do use that term. Everyone calls them piazzas. You'd open up this door, walk to the door in the center is where you go inside. The floor plan's easy. There's a hallway in there straight to the back wall, staircase on the right, one room on both sides, same thing all the way up. Then the home is followed by a kitchen house with slave quarters on top.
I don't know if you can see it, but this pink house down here, he said is the 2nd oldest house in Charleston. That's the oldest building in Charleston right there with the 3 dots. And here is the Exchange. We came here a few years ago and they read the Declaration of Independence right here on 4th of July. It was really cool. So this is Rainbow Row. It's gonna be hard to show in this shot, but you can see all the colors. Here's a little bit of a better shot.
This is Rainbow Road. Most of this neighborhood was destroyed by the first Baker fire in 1740. This building does survive that fire. The button. And it's always been pink. As far as we go since the 1740s.
He said this house has always been pink.
But Rainbow Road didn't take this shape because of the Great Fire until about 1760. And everything on the right was built as waterfront. Waterfront merchant shops and stores. The merchants have their stores on the bottom, they lived upstairs with their family. And the ships would park right here where the sidewalk is. They roll their cargoes into these shops and stores, pick up more cargo, anchored for a few weeks in the harbor, and go right back to the clog up the traffic at the other side.
There's a C-17 flying up there. He was just telling us this house right here was built in the 30s, and when they built it, they found cannonballs. And here is the battery. If you haven't seen the video where Story and I walked along here, I'll put that in the description below. But this is the Charleston Harbor just past these bushes. He was just telling us that during Hurricane Irma a few years ago, the water came right up over this wall. Oh, he said he used to work here and it was haunted.
Okay, so I was a docent, a tour guide of the museum. And I was at the front door and I heard a woman's voice say, "Matthew, how are you doing?" And there was no one. And then about 2 months later, I'm standing in the exact same spot and I heard a man's voice say the exact same thing. But the good news was I had somebody with me that witnessed it too. So I wasn't alone.
Wow.
And it was the weirdest thing ever. There were 3 ladies that were sisters that lived in the basement and I interrogated them because I thought they were playing a trick on me the first time. And the funny thing is I got the owner all pissed off because I was asking them too many questions. They didn't want to talk about it. They thought it would scare people away. So they got mad at me for something that would actually bring them luck.
See the haint blue ceilings on their porch?
Guess what?
Superstition says that keeps the evil spirits away.
And I do 1681.
We're gonna come back here sometime and do like a ghost tour because I really want to walk through some of these cemeteries and hear some of the stories and the history. Tim will not come with me, so I'll have to do that by myself or find somebody else to come with me. Like I said, great tour, funny guy. Sorry about the audio. I should have really turned my microphone around so that it would pick up what he was telling us. I thought we'd be able to hear it a little bit better than we could, but like you got the gist of it. I showed you Rainbow Row, where we went along the Battery. He gave us a few little like pieces of information about some of the buildings downtown. There's just so much history in Charleston. You couldn't possibly learn everything in an hour. I would recommend doing this if you're in Charleston at least once, you know, just for the experience. I guarantee that you'll learn at least one thing. My ice cream is melting. After the carriage tour, we had to go pick up my third friend. She was flying in that afternoon. So we came back home. Story took her nap. When we woke up, we went to the airport, picked up my other friend, and then came back to the house. And I'm telling you what, my memory is just garbage these days. I'm literally talking about things that happened less than a week ago and I can't remember what we did. Like my weekends and my weekdays, all the same. Doesn't matter. Oh, I know what we did. We had to decide what we wanted for dinner. By the time we went to pick her up from the airport, it was roughly 5:30 by the time we were headed back to the house. And we were like, we need to place an order for pickup, whatever we decide to do for dinner, because it's probably going to take some time for it to be ready and for us to get it. And I can't go to a restaurant right now with Story and have her sit there for 30 plus minutes for food. It just isn't going to happen. We decided to go to a place called Ye Old Fashioned Ice Cream for dinner, but we didn't get ice cream. I'll say it's a local chain because there are several locations, but I don't think it's like across the country or anything like that. It's definitely, you know, located in the South. if not just Charleston. But they have really, really good junk food. Burgers, hot dogs, cheese fries, things like that. It's not a very mature menu and it's not very complicated, but it's really good. And they can make almost anything on the menu vegan. I'm not vegan, but the fact that I have all these other options makes me happy. So we went there. It was delicious and terrible at the same time. They have the Beyond Burgers there. So I got like a Beyond Burger with cheese and just like tomato, lettuce, all that stuff. I got some tater tots too. I think everybody got a burger actually, even Story. So we came back home, ate that on the porch outside, had a little bit of wine. It was great. And then Wednesday we woke up and we went to Somerville. Saw the giant mason jar, the sweet tea. It's like the world's largest jar of sweet tea. Did that, went to a few of the shops right there. They have like a little candy shop that Story and I have been to before a few times. And then we went to Swank Desserts, which if you remember, we celebrated Harry Potter's birthday there. So after I did that, they were like, we have to go there. We have to try these macarons. We have to try all these things because it looks so swanky. So we went there. Again, everybody loved everything. I got like an assortment of the macarons. One thing that I got there was this everything bagel macaron. It was the most bizarre thing that I've ever eaten for dessert because it was savory. And I wasn't sure when I saw it if it would be sweet or savory or both. And my taste buds were so confused by it. I still don't know if I like it or if I don't like it. It had garlic. It tasted garlicky and oniony. But the inside was kind of like a cream cheesy, like sweet. It was a weird thing. Some people eat bacon with maple. It was kind of that sensation. I don't know. I'm glad I tried it. It was definitely something I've never had before and it was interesting, but I still don't know if I liked it. Now my one friend loved it. Another friend hated it. I am still kind of like, I don't know what that was, what just happened. You know what we also did that morning? We went to get biscuits at Vicious Biscuits too. We ate this whole past week. We were just, it was eating after eating after eating. It was like, okay, we just had breakfast. Now what do you want to do? I don't know. Let's go eat. It's fine. Vacation calories don't count. Oh, I had to get my hair done that day. I had a hair appointment, which was fantastic because I was really, the last time I was there was in May and it was right before Tim left. And I told her when I left, I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to be back next because I don't have anybody to watch Story here for me. And I can't bring her into the salon with me to sit here for 4 hours. I just can't do that. She was like, well, you can make an appointment and then if things change, we can like just change it or cancel it later. And so that's what we did. I made my appointment at 1 and Story took her nap. So she was sleeping for a good chunk of that appointment. That was my birthday. And so by the time I came back home, they had decorated the house in like streamers and banners and balloons and there was flowers and they had cards and they all had the little blowy thingies when I walked in the door and they surprised me. And it was the sweetest thing, like the sweetest. Story was so excited and she ran up to me and she said, "Happy birthday, Mommy, you're so beautiful." And like nobody asked her to say that. Love her. Thursday was our beach day. We actually like got everything ready the night before, which is super helpful because you don't want to wake up at like 6 a.m. and be loading beach chairs and tents and things into the truck. So we tried to do all that as much as we could the night before. And then we woke up Thursday morning. Everybody got their bathing suits on. I got Story together. We went to Folly Beach. We got there at like a little after 9, I think. It took about 45 minutes to get there from our house. It was a beautiful day, like gorgeous. The sun was out. It was mid 80s, but it felt like, like lower 90s. It was like perfect temperature to get in the water. The water temperature was great. It wasn't too cold. The waves were like mediocre, so it wasn't like you were fighting the waves in the water. I felt good about Story being in it. Just a beautiful day. It was a great time. We packed a few snacks with us, of course, as one does when they go to the beach. And we stayed there till it was like 12:30, between 12:30 and 1 when we were back on the road to head back home for Story's nap. One of the things that the girls surprised me with for my birthday was a night out, just us, like just the girls. They arranged for my neighbor to watch Story for us while we went to dinner. I can say this because I'm that confident. I have the best friends in the world. They're just the best. They're so thoughtful. I just feel I'm so lucky. I feel so lucky to have these girlfriends. Like they're just the best. They asked me, like, you know, where do you want to eat? Is there somewhere that you want to go that you just haven't been yet? And I was like, it took me a second, but then I remembered this place called Neon Tiger, and it's all vegan food, but they have like pizzas and burgers and things like that. And so they have really good reviews. Everybody talks about it here, how great it is. They've been around for, it's like between 1 and 2 years. I don't know exactly when they opened, but it was a little bit before the pandemic, I think. As far as it seems, they've been doing really well. So I was like, yeah, let's go there. And they have like a really fun cocktail menu, and then, you know, depending on how long that takes, we can see where we are and then maybe walk down King Street and get ice cream or something like that. My neighbor watched Story for me. This was the first time that I left Story with somebody that wasn't family. It was hard. Like, it was hard. So Story didn't nap that day. I thought for sure that after playing at the beach and just being hot and playing in the water and everything that she would crash, but she did not sleep. She did not nap. She just didn't want to. She was having too much fun. And so I knew that she was going to be something by the time bath time and bedtime came around. So I was nervous for my neighbor to watch her because of how tired I knew she was going to be. I was also nervous because Story's getting into that phase where she doesn't want to leave mommy. And so when she figured out that she was going to go over to the neighbor's house and mommy wasn't coming, she started to hide behind my legs and didn't want to go. And it took a lot of encouraging and convincing for her to go over there, but she finally did, and she had a good time. She always has a good time playing with our neighbor's little girl. She's 5 years old. She's a little bit older than Story, but they always have so much fun together, and they talk about each other all the time. So I knew it was going to be fine. It was just that initial separation that just like, it's hard. It's just so hard. And I'm like, oh, here we go. This is what it's going to be like when I take her to daycare or take her to preschool. This is going to suck real bad. But it ended up being fine. It was fine. So we went to dinner, and I could talk about it, or I could just show you. I'm gonna put that clip in right here so you can see what we ate and how that went. All right, we are at the Neon Tiger in downtown Charleston. Everything on the menu is vegan. So we ordered some cocktails first, and I've got the Coolada. Haven't tried it yet. This is the Fig Old Fashioned. And then over here, it's a Rosé Mule. And then right here is Guava the Hut. Okay, we have our first course. First of two. Okay, this is the crispy konjac shrimp. And it's battered and fried and served with chipotle aioli. I had no idea that they could make vegan shrimp, but they can. So, cheers.
Weird. I didn't taste like one.
Alright, that's weird. I think she said it was like an Asian root vegetable. Isn't that right?
Yep.
I don't hate it, but honestly, it just kind of tastes like a fried chunk of something with dip on it. Not bad. So I don't eat shrimp regularly, so I can't compare it to like what a real shrimp tastes like, but this one can. Do you think it tastes like shrimp?
It does taste a little like real shrimp, almost. Kind of a cross between shrimp and like imitation crab.
Yeah, kind of have the same texture, or like a little harder.
It's not as chewy as shrimp. Again, it's more kind of like that imitation crab.
Okay.
Looks like shrimp. And it has a little bit of that flavor. It's really good.
It's interesting. And then this is supposed to be like calamari. Let me see, trumpet mushroom calamari. And it says it has crispy garlic and cornmeal crust, and then it's drizzled with tartar sauce, except is ours drizzled? I think they just gave it to us on the side, basically. Okay, main course time. I think we all kind of went the same route almost with the pizzas, but this is a barbecue jackfruit pizza. This is the Mediterranean pizza. This is the buffalo cauliflower pizza. And then this is a veggie bowl with edamame and looks like sweet potatoes and kale. All kinds of good stuff. So it was really good. Sorry I didn't really talk about how the pizza was after the fact, but it was so good. If you've never tried jackfruit and you see it on a menu somewhere, give it a chance. Because I'm just me, but it fooled me. It tasted like barbecue. It tasted like pulled pork. It was shredded, just like pulled pork would be, and it was just like marinated in this sauce. So really all you could taste was the sauce. It was delicious. Put that on a pizza with some whatever drizzle that stuff was. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. And I had leftovers for 3 days after that. I think everybody was really impressed for it being a vegan restaurant. I mean, even if you're not vegan, I think you can still find something there that you'd really like. Highly recommend that place. I would love to go back again. I can't picture Tim sitting there and eating that food, but if I just took him there and didn't tell him up front that it was vegan, I think that he would like it without knowing what it was exactly. Poor Tim. I have made so many dinners before where I just like fed it to him and then he was like, what's this? And I'm like, oh, it's meatloaf. But it was like turkey meat or like ground turkey instead of like the beef. Or I would make like mashed potatoes and it was actually cauliflower. And he's like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, it's just mashed potatoes. Tim, if you're watching this, sorry. I love you. But yeah, it was great. If you're in Charleston and you want something different, it's not necessarily seafood, and you have like a vegetarian or vegan friend, or just, you know, sometimes like to include that in your diet every once in a while, but still want something that tastes really good and isn't just like lettuce, try this place. I think you'll be surprised. When we left there, we took a little stroll down King Street and we went to Mora's Iced Creamery. There was like nobody there and one person working, so I don't know what the deal was. It was only like, it wasn't even that late. It was like 6 or 7, I think, between 6 and 7 when we were there. But I got something really simple. I got like 1 scoop of vanilla ice cream with salted caramel drizzled on it. It was good. It was not anything like this, but it was good. I would compare it to that off-track ice cream that we had that one time. I'd give it like a B+, because it was, I can't complain about ice cream. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't like really good like this. After that, we came back home because I knew Story would be ready for her bath and I knew she was tired, so I couldn't stay out too late knowing how tired she was and that she probably needed me to come back home and get her to sleep. Came back home. When we got here, Story was like cuddled up in my neighbor's arms, just like watching TV. She was so peaceful, and she was like snacking on some popcorn, I think, or something. And she was so excited when we came through the door. She was like, Mommy, I played Play-Doh and I did this and I did that. And I'm like, okay, so she had a great time. I just instantly felt so much better because I knew she was gonna have a good time. I wasn't worried about who she was with. That made me feel good. It just made me sad just knowing that she was sad that I wasn't there, if that makes any sense. But yeah, had a great time. I'm super, super thankful for my neighbor, for my friends for arranging all of that, because I would not have gone out of my way to make sure that that happened if it were just up to me. If I get offers like that to watch her, I'm always like, oh no, it's fine. Like, it's totally fine. Story and I will figure it out, or we'll just like do whatever the thing is like another time. I just hate asking people to watch my child. I feel like it's such a heavy responsibility and I just don't like asking for that kind of help. So I'm really glad that they made me do that. What did we do Friday? Friday morning we went back to Lodi and we got another coffee. We went to one place that we thought it was an antique store. It was more of a thrift store, but we went there anyways. They had some kittens for adoption there, so we got to see the little kittens and we played with them. And then we came back home because the girls' flight was at noon or 1 or something like that, so we had to get everybody's luggage packed and everything kind of like put away and ready to go, because I had to take them to the airport before Story's nap. We just kind of like hung out the rest of the time. It's always really sad the last day, you know, the day that everybody has to go home. It was a good stay. It was so good for my heart. It was good for Story to have somebody else here to play with besides me. It just was overall, it was a really good visit. And I cannot wait until they come back. I can't wait until I get to go to St. Louis again, honestly. I've got a couple more friends that weren't able to make this trip. One of them is expecting right now, and she's pretty far along in the pregnancy. And then my other friend is actually coming in October, so the 2 trips would have been very close together. And she opted to just make the 1 trip in October to go to Disney with us, which I would have done too. So I totally get that. that. But I just love having all my friends together under one roof, especially for so long. You know, we got to have girls' night 4 nights in a row, 5 nights in a row. It was great. We got to drink wine. We watched Chip and Joanna on the Magnolia Network. We laughed. My stomach hurt like every single night just from laughing at the stupid things that we were saying. That's just better than any medicine anybody could ever prescribe. I just want to say thank you again to everybody for just understanding with the uploading schedule. I know we haven't uploaded regularly for a couple weeks now. It's just been a little off. I'm going to try to get that back into like a normal groove where we do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I'm going to kind of play with the schedule too and just experiment with doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, because sometimes I feel like you guys like that a little bit more, or it's just those are just better days to watch the videos. So regardless, we're going to get back to 3 videos a week. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I'm going to finish my ice cream now before it all melts, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!